Woodsong by Gary Paulsen. The second part, The Race. Day 1. Out of Anchorage, just madness. There is no sleep the night before, 2 nights before, trying to get everything ready, no sleep or rest. The food is all shipped to 20 checkpoints across the state. The dogs are trucked into downtown Anchorage for the staging area on 4th Street, where there is, ridiculously, no snow, and they must bring it in. Because the snow is shallow, the sleds cut through the bare asphalt, so there is no steering, no real control. The dogs are insane to run. We pulled number 32 about the middle of a 70-team race. The dogs get to stand and watch 31 teams go out ahead of them, out and down 4 blocks to turn sharp right and head out of the downtown section. 31 teams watch, and then they take us into the chutes, and the dogs know it's our time. They lunge and tear and pull and scream until they count us down and we are released. Some new dogs, some old. Cookie is there, and Storm, and Fonzie, and Columbia, and Yogi from the work team, and the new dogs that I almost don't know yet. Forward, they blow out of the chutes so hard that my arms are jerked nearly out of the sockets, and I cannot believe they are the same 15 dogs I have trained. I have run so many times before. I am as nothing on the rear of the sled, nothing. We pound the 4 blocks in a heartbeat. I know we cannot make the turn, and we don't. The dogs sweep around. There is a moment when there seems to be control, and then I roll over and over, but hang onto the sled somehow and slid out of downtown Anchorage on my face, dragging on the back of the sled like garbage. Only the sled and the dogs on the team matter. So little is known of the other teams until much later, after the first 3 days. Some do not make it out of Anchorage. 1 musher breaks an arm, another a shoulder. 5 blocks out, and they must scratch. And that is the worst, to scratch. Before the race it is spoken of as a disease. I am a leper. I will scratch. It is the same. Many will, but nobody wants to. Everybody wants to finish. I regain control of the team, get back up right on the runners, and somehow get out of Anchorage. It is still not real, a dream. Finally, out of the chutes, really starting to run the Iditarod. The dream, the run. And it's all phony. The show start in Anchorage is done for television and to give Anchorage publicity. Teams can't truly go from Anchorage to Nome because the freeway system coming into Anchorage blocks the trail. The whole start, the madness of it, the chutes, all of it has to be done. Over 30 miles out of town is a suburb of Eagle Ridge, where the dogs are put in trucks, taken 11 miles to Settlers Bay, where the race truly starts. More chutes, more slamming and screaming and waiting for the front teams to leave, and again, madness. The dogs blow out of the starting chutes and scramble for speed, and this time it is into the brush, directly into the wilderness. But the sham start and restart have taken all day, and so the race truly starts at the end of the day, close to dark. With darkness comes chaos. The teams will not rest the first night. They are too excited and must be allowed to run until they settle in. So the darkness brings a particular insanity of passing teams and tangles and moose. My team stops dead in the darkness. I go up to investigate the reason and find my leader. Some run 2 leaders, but I favor 1. A sweet, simple dog named Wilson. I'm trying to get him to lead so I can save Cookie for later, and I find him with his head between the back legs of a moose, frozen with terror. The moose, a large cow, turns to look at me when my headlight comes across her, then turns away. I do not have a gun, do not know what to do. "What the heck are you waiting for?" a voice demands suddenly from the rear as another team runs up on mine in the dark. "Why are you stopped?" "There's a moose," I yell back lamely. "Well, kick it in the butt and get moving on, or get out of the way." I try, kicking the moose in the left flank, and to my amazement, she jumps and moves slowly off the trail so we can pass. Later in the race, I will try this again, and the second moose will jump on me instead of off the trail, making my life very interesting for about 5 seconds. And on. In the confusion, my leader gets lost and takes a wrong turn while I am looking down in the sled bag, and we go 40, 50 miles in the wrong direction, up into some canyons where the trail gets narrower and narrower until it finally just stops. I go up to the front of the team in the darkness and drag them around, realizing we are lost. My clothes have been ripped on tree limbs, and my face is bleeding from cuts. And when I look down the side of the mountains we have just climbed, I see 27 headlamps bobbing up the trail. 27 teams have taken our smell as the valid trail and are following us. 27 teams we must meet head-on in the narrow brush and pass, and told to turn around. It is a nightmare, the whole crazy night. Turning teams, stopping fights, yelling at dogs, waiting in armpit-deep snow until finally we are back on the right trail, and at last, just before dawn, I can stand it no longer. 3 nights now without sleep, and I pull the team off on a narrow turnoff and sit on the sled to rest, to doze. I was not there 10 minutes lying with my eyes closed when I heard footsteps on the snow. An older man who is famous stood next to me in the darkness and smiled down and said, "Would you like a chocolate chip cookie?" Wonderfully, incredibly, miraculously, he had somehow gotten 2 chocolate chip cookies through that mad night without breaking them. He handed me one, and I sat up and poured tea from my thermos into my cup and his, and we drank tea and dunked cookies and did not talk, but just sat. I looked at my watch and found it was exactly 24 hours since we were in the staging area in downtown Anchorage, waiting to get the starting chute. It is the end of the first day.